searching for hope in the dead of night. No more hiding, no more shame. Face the fire, call the name. Lessons learned, stories told. Rise again from the ashes cold. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand. Stand side by side, hand in hand. Shadows whisper, demons call, but we refuse to lose it all. Every fall, every tear, built the strength that brought us here. We are warriors, we are fire. Turn the hurt into desire. Not alone, never lost. One more chance, no matter the cost. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side, hand in hand.
Good morning and welcome to Tuesday Talk. That intro gets me going every time still. For those of you joining us for the first time, Tuesday Talk is a place for real conversations. Nothing scripted, nothing polished, nothing fake. We're here to talk about real experiences from veterans, first responders, supporters, and folks who are making an impact in their own way. Safe 22 exists to raise awareness and support for veteran suicide prevention. The number 22 represents the lives we've lost, brothers and sisters who mattered, who served, who we loved. But what we focus on here is not just the number. We focus on the people, the stories, and the reminder that help, connection, and purpose still exist. This isn't about being polished. I'm not a professional YouTuber. We're not social media experts. What we are is a group of people willing to show up and have honest conversations, sometimes uncomfortable ones, because those are the conversations that matter. Every guest who joins us brings a story. Some are veterans, some are first responders, some support the community in ways you might never see on camera. And sometimes they don't even realize the impact that they're making, but they are. If you're watching today and you're struggling, I want you to hear this clearly. You are not weak, you are not broken, and you are not alone. Asking for help is not a failure, it's a skill, and it's one many of us had to learn the hard way. If you're here to listen, learn, or just feel connected for an hour, you're in the right place. And if something you hear today resonates with you, I encourage you to share it. You never know who might need to hear it. So welcome everybody to March 31st, Tuesday Talk, today at 10. I love the alliteration, it's really awesome. Today, I'm going to bring on a co-host. His name is Matthew Miller. He is a member of Team Fast Tracks and is a huge supporter of Safe 22 and all we do. He's joined us before as a guest and a co-host. Now he's doing both again today. So thanks, Matt, for being here.
I'm happy to be here, John. Looking forward to it.
You look like it. So
I got my coffee. I'm good.
You got your coffee? Hey, I got mine too. Ground Force Coffee right here. Use code SAVE22 to get It's like 22% off. Takes your order from $19.99 to $17.76. So Ground Force Coffee right there. Groundforce.coffee. Thank you. Nice segue. Appreciate you. Hey, so like I said in the intro, you know what? We're not professionals, right? We're not social media experts. We're not professional interviewers, givers, or takers. So you and I were at Benson, North Carolina a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
You were there as a member of Team Fast Tracks. You were the ground crew coordinator, show coordinator. Unfortunately, the winds aloft were
too damn
high. straight out of Kansas, and kind of put the kibosh on everything. It really would have been an awesome opener, but you know what? We have to be safe first, and the winds aloft are just nothing we can do anything about.
Yeah, it's crazy. The winds on the ground were like 3 to 6 knots.
Yeah,
which is ideal jumping conditions, but 1,000 feet all the way up to 4,500 feet where my team was going to jump out was 25 straight knots. So they would have had to jump 1.5 miles away from the demo site and hope to God that they could land back on site. So yeah, unfortunately we had to cancel the jump.
Yeah, it's one of those things, man. You know, I've been involved in a lot of paratroop drops and cargo drops and things like that. All of them in training, obviously, but there ain't a darn thing you can do when you're aloft and them winds are 40 knots or whatever. And we've had guys out over the bay in Langley, Virginia, and you're just circling for 3 hours waiting for stuff to clear up. Right? Like, we got to get this boat off. We got to get these guys off. And unfortunately, with demonstration jumping, you don't have that luxury of time. You can't extend. You can't push the jump for another 3 hours. Right?
Or you would have that jump master that would say the winds are extremely high the first pass, and then miraculously on the second pass they're 0 knot winds. And you jump out and you land 2 miles off course. And
come on,
I had that experience a few times in the 82nd Airborne.
Stop it. That doesn't happen. We never did that when I was flying 130. No, never. So, I just kind of vapor locked here for a second. You had a special guest with you last 2 weeks ago at the IHRA event down in Benson, North Carolina, and you brought him by. And I got to tell you, Nick and his boy were quite the they had some great stories, right? Good guys. Yep. He's a master gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps.
Master gunning.
Yeah. And the funny thing, not the funny thing, but the really cool thing is you and he are cousins.
Right.
And you essentially were crib mates, and you've had somebody to share your military experience with for the last, what's he been in, 22, 23 years?
Yeah, 23 years.
Yeah. So you've not only had the grace or the gift of growing up with this guy. You guys both went and served in the military, him as a Marine, you as in the Army. You both have experiences. I want to know what that is like for you to know that you have that little brother, essentially, that big brother to lean on with your experiences. You were at the Battle of Cobb Keating. Intense, no doubt. Having Nick with you to share that with, what's that like for you?
Unfortunately, prior to a couple of years ago, Nick and I lost contact. He established his family. I established my family. We both had our military careers going. Ultimately, mine was cut short. But because of that, we just didn't really talk. We didn't really communicate. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, his wife ended up passing away from cancer about 2.5 years ago. And I was actually on another demo at the time. And so I reached out to Nick, and I got to go hang out with Nick right outside of Camp Lejeune, where he lives. And he took me out to the inlet of the ocean. And he's like, we're gonna set up right here. And I'm like, we're in the middle of the ocean. He's like, just give it time. And so low tide came in, and next thing you know, we're playing football, drinking beers, having fun on a sandbar, basically.
No kidding.
Yeah. And so we've, but we picked up basically right where we left off.
Yep.
There was no awkwardness. There was no, why haven't you called? Why haven't you talked? We both understood. We got families, and we have things going on. So yeah,
we call that life on life's terms.
Yeah. So when I found out we were going to be so close to Nick, I immediately reached out to him and said, hey, you and Hunter should come down and experience your first IHRA race and see what Team Fast Tracks does. And, so even though we didn't get the jump, it was still a good time to hang out with my cousin for, about 6-7 hours that day. So, yeah.
Yeah. There he is. We're hanging out at the starting line right before Lex's run.
Yep.
And that's good old piston foot right there, Brent Patterson. What an incredible story he's got. Got to meet some people. Picked up right where you left off with your cousin, and I was honored to have him and Hunter hanging out with us. Got to bring him up next to the car. Lex June was an incredible. I mean, he's always incredible. Him and Gerda and everything they do with the team, and how they just open up their pit stall to everybody that we ask. And, I don't think they've ever turned me down. Obviously, there's times when they're busy and can't speak, but man, he makes every effort to just welcome the veterans and people into the pit area with them. It's
and Gerda's even just as as nice as Lex is. So I mean, I walked up to her and I gave her a big hug when I got there Friday, and she was excited to see me and everything. So yeah, I mean, it's a big family.
It is, and I think that's what every veteran nonprofit tries to promote, right? Is we are a family, right? We are our brothers and sisters keepers, right? Our enlistment doesn't end like the meme says and all that stuff. Like, our oath is there, man. Like, we're there for you. And some of us tend to forget that from time to time, that there are brothers and sisters out there that care about us, and we can share those kind of things with them. So, really happy. Let's talk real quick about Team Fast Tracks. How did Team Fast Tracks come about? How did you get involved with Team Fast Tracks?
So Team Fast Tracks was created by two brothers, John and David Hart, and a few other select individuals. They they wanted to showcase what they can do skydiving wise, and so they created Team Fast Tracks. And so in 2021, I went to an event called the Blue Skies for the Good Guys and Gals Warrior Weekend to Remember. It's hosted by Team Fast Tracks, and I got to go do some cool things. I got to skydive for my very first time, and so then the following year I got accepted to go back as an ambassador. And so that year, I was hanging out with the Team Fast Track guys even more, and I said I want to be a part of this group. And so I submitted my application. I went through their selection process, and ultimately I was accepted onto the team.
Awesome. What was it about Team Fast Tracks in your experience at Warrior Weekend to Remember that kind of solidified your choice that said, I want to be part of this? What was it?
It's the camaraderie. It's the family. After getting out of the military and moving to this wonderful state of New York that I live in, I lost that camaraderie. I lost that brotherhood. And so they gave me what I've been missing for so long.
Yeah. That's awesome. I have a 4-minute video from the website. Can we share that? You mind?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So here comes the video of Team excuse me. Warrior Weekend to Remember. I'll put that up here at the bottom real quick before we go anywhere. Let's see. I thought I had it up. I don't. Standby one. Awkward silence initiated.
It's all right. It's the old person running the technology.
I have said for years we need a Gen X or Alpha or whatever to come run our stuff for us, because we're so slow. We don't seem to. There it is right at the bottom, warriorwtr.com. And yeah, we need somebody else to run the social media stuff. I'd love to have a producer. Goat Locker's got their own producer, and he sits back there with like 6 screens and he coordinates and does all that stuff. It's really awesome. I think it's Eddie is his name. What a dude. So right down here is our 4-minute video on what Warrior Weekend to Remember is about from Team Fast Tracks and Blue Skies for the good guys and gals.
I guess the first thing to do is tell you what Blue Skies does. Every year we host a big event called Warrior Weekend, and we host 50 combat injured warriors and fallen hero families right here in Southwest Ohio. Just 4 days of amazing fun, and the money that we raise goes to flying them in, feeding them, putting up at a nice hotel, and that's really what we do. We're building relationships, and it's just the backdrop for all that.
It is Hometown Heroes Night, and this game is one of many events part of Warrior Weekend. Before and during this game tonight, the Dragons are honoring Gold Star families and Purple Heart recipients with activities and events.
This tonight is retired Master Sergeant Victor C. Underwood. He served in the United States Army for 20 years with 2 tours in Vietnam. He is a recipient of the Distinguished Service Cross, which is the second highest military honor that can be awarded, only surpassed by the Medal of Honor. Please help us welcome retired Master Sergeant Victor C. Underwood, representing Warrior Weekend to Remember.
My name is Colonel Retired Greg Gatz, and I'm here at Warrior Weekend to Remember. Again, I just want to say what a wonderful time we have out here. It's bringing veterans and the community together to share our experiences and remember the sacrifices that so many have made for our great country. I really love this event, and I'm so blessed to be here, and I can't say enough good things about it.
Ready? Yeah.
My name is John Sveeten. I was 3rd Battalion, 4th Marines, Marine Corps. First year out here. Everyone out here has been absolutely phenomenal. The feeling of love and family is very real. We all take care of each other out here, and it's something really special. The amount of moving parts and the amount of people that have created this is something that I don't think any of us will forget. So thank you, everybody.
DJ Corson, and I have the honor of being the first Gold Shield member of the Warriors Weekend, and I am so proud to be a member and to represent law enforcement and everything that this organization stands for. The bar is high, but I'm ready for the challenge.
My name's Kevin Engel. I am a Purple Heart veteran, enjoying the Warrior Weekend to Remember for the first time, meeting a lot of new people, making a lot of great friends, and meeting some really awesome people.
We can remember honorees. There's a lot of people in the room, and this can be very intimidating, but welcome to your new family.
Wow.
Yep. That's Warrior Weekend.
Wow. Got some pretty cool dudes that have been there. I saw a Shiloh Harris sighting. I saw a Colonel Gadsden sighting. You and I have had the honor and privilege of hanging out with those two. There's some there's some special dudes, man.
Oh, Shiloh. I love Shiloh to death. He's an awesome individual.
He's a trip, man.
He has a lot more cojones than I have when it comes to a lot of things, and he's definitely right. And Colonel Gadsden, he's just a remarkable individual. I'm proud to know both of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I got to hang out with Colonel Gadsden at the Patriot Ball a couple years ago. I actually won a copy of his book. I got to go up and sit with him and talk to him real quick. He got to sign it. Finding Waypoints. What a great book.
Oh, yeah.
Great book. I don't know if you've read it or not, but man, I challenge every veteran, hell, even everybody, just go read it. Right? Like it's a great story of challenge through life, right? And how you just got to keep going and find that next point, right? That you can focus on it and go achieve. And what just a great time. Now this is in 2026. It's August 6th through the 9th. I want to personally say thank you for inviting me. I applied and I got selected this year, so I'll actually be attending the 2026 Warrior Weekend to Remember as a vet. Right, I'm not going as Save 22. I'm going as me.
Yeah, you're going as John.
That's pretty cool, right? For me, at least. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit intimidated.
No.
I want to bring this up because you and I both know what it feels like to have to step into something new and challenge yourself and get out of that isolation of I'm comfortable. I don't want to go do anything. I don't want to be around anybody. I'm afraid somebody's going to ask me this and I'm not going to have the answer. Right. I'm going to have a PTSD reaction. I don't like. What do you say to people? Because I've told my story about how I fought, for 2 weeks after being invited to Mid Ohio by Save 22, some 9 years ago, whatever it was. And I talked myself out of it for many, many days up to and almost including the morning of going, right? Like what do you say to people about that when they talk to you about these things? Have you ever had that experience?
You just gotta, take it one step at a time. You got to look at the smaller picture rather than the larger picture. Because if you focus on the bigger picture, it's gonna, you're gonna have anxiety, you're gonna be overwhelmed, and you're gonna reclude yourself and basically go back to, what's normal for you. So you have to be willing to step out and take that chance of, doing something that's going to make you feel uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel uncomfortable, but just know that you're in a very safe place.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We talk about it a lot on here. You got to go be comfortable with being uncomfortable,
right?
Because the uncomfortable, if you truly look at it, if you can zoom out and take a second to really examine what you were uncomfortable about, it disappears very, very quickly once you get there.
Yep.
Right. It goes away. You realize that nobody's going to talk to you about anything you don't want to talk about. Right. You're the one that brings it up. You're the one that sabotages your own events. You're the one, right? Like, I mean, you and I talk off camera quite a bit about that kind of stuff. Like, in our own mind, we are the ones that create the chaos. Right. And it's not true what's going on in your brain. And I just think that's from personal experiences, right? That's a human condition.
Right.
Right. Some of us are able to put everything behind us and not think about it and move on and move forward. And some of us get latched in this fight or flight mode. I saw a lot of activities there, and it's a multi-day event, like, four-wheeling, shooting, parachuting. Are you required as an attendee to participate in every event?
Right? No, and so obviously we want you to participate in like the big events. Jumping out of an airplane, doing doing the airplane rides. And a lot of has changed since 2019 and until up till now.
Okay.
But it's still pretty much the same thing. But we have to adapt and overcome with financial challenges and everything else. And so, there's some things that you saw in the video that you won't do, and there's some things that are in the video that you will do. But when we're not doing those big events, we're not shooting, we're not jumping out of an airplane, we're not doing the Jeep ride, there's always something going on around the camp. And what I always tell the new members, the new Warriors and Gold Star families, is don't have the fear of missing out. If you need to go lay down for 30 minutes, go lay down for 30 minutes. There's always going to be something to do. It's to keep people engaged, keep people busy. But if you need to go lay down, go lay down.
Yeah, absolutely. We do the same thing at the IHRA events. Look, man, you're a veteran, you're struggling, you're having a hard time getting around, you're overwhelmed, whatever. We got this little space back here. Come recoup for 30 minutes, right? It's okay. We all have experience. I talked about this with my mental health guy a week ago. It's understanding that you're not the same person you were 25 years ago. It's understanding that, you are getting older, you have more experiences, your experiences in life are way different than a normal 9-to-5 computer engineer in an air-conditioned office.
Right.
Right. We understand that the body breaks down a little faster. You might be missing a limb, or, you're dealing with a gunshot wound, whatever it is, right? A brain injury. We want you to know that we have people there that can accommodate these situations at most every event that comes around, and especially at the Team Fast Tracks Warrior Weekend to remember.
So at
I'm
that
excited.
event, we have, so the new year attendees, they will be paired up with someone that has gone through the Warrior Weekend to Remember experience.
Very
and
cool.
You're also going to have a Team Fast Track member as a liaison. So you're not going to be truly alone. You're going to be introduced to your ambassador, then you're going to be introduced to your team member. And so they're going to be kind of like your guiding light, per se. But they're not going to be so far near you, or they're not going to be so close to you that you can't venture out and have those one-on-one conversations with other attendees. You're going to be mingling with Gold Star families. You're going to be mingling with other combat veterans. You're going to be mingling with heroes, families of fallen heroes of police, fire, or EMS. And then you're just going to have a bunch of volunteers there that are there to show their love and appreciation of the veterans and the Gold Star families.
That's a hard one for some of us to take, right? We self-sabotage ourselves about our service, and we don't like to hear the accolades. I know you don't like to talk about your accolades. I don't care to talk about mine.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're just something that we did. Right. So it's very hard to, for some to accept that accolade. Right. For me, that was a huge struggle. It's still a huge struggle. In fact, that's my scheduled mental health appointment next week, is how do I physically respond, or mentally or socially respond to accolades. Right. I have a hard time accepting them. Because I'm very used to the negative self-talk. I'm very used to the criticism. It's just, I think it's a learned behavior, obviously, right? But learning to let that part go and try something new, I think, is where a lot of us veterans and first responders, we don't want to let ourselves go do that, because we're in a position where we have to be emotionless. We have to respond accordingly in chaos when everything else around us is going to hell and people are screaming and yelling, and we're able to manage those situations. So when there isn't the chaos, we want to create chaos, because that's where we're comfortable. How do you respond to that, right? Like you've been around a lot of shiz, right? You and I have had those personal conversations. What was that transition like for you to understand that, hey, everything here is safe. I'm safe. I don't need to worry about this. I can focus on having a good time, right? Do you still struggle with things like that, or are you do you have tools? What are some tools in your toolbox that afford you the opportunity to go have fun nowadays?
Music is my biggest outlet, and my biggest safety net. And so I lean on music a lot, and so I find I find myself either wanting to cry, and so I listen to those sad songs, or I feel myself, I want to rock out and have a party, and so I'm jamming out, and it's just, and it's also knowing that there's going to be somebody there that's going to have my back if something fails. My wife and kids are definitely my biggest rocks for me. And so they tend to get me to go do things that I typically don't want to do. But I know I have my family there, and they also know that if I start feeling uncomfortable, then they know it's time to leave.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a signal with her? You have a little code word?
No, basically it's like, hey, I want to leave.
For me, it has been, thanks for sharing that. Music, those are pretty extreme things. I'm crying or I'm rocking out to, Headbangers Ball. Well, there I'm showing my age. Do you have stuff in the middle, right? Do you have stuff that's okay? All right.
You got it. But stuff in the middle to me is going to be something completely different. That's in the middle.
Absolutely.
On any given day when I'm fine, I'm happy, I'm doing whatever I just got to do. I have the 90s, playlist going.
Trisha said it sounds familiar. I think she's talking about the "Hey, it's time to go" type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So she's up there listening. I'm stuck. Hold on. Live. The challenges of live. I got stuck. So we're talking about tools and techniques that you use when you get uncomfortable. Music is a big one for you. I'm going to introduce you to my buddy Bill Bailey, who does Today's Boondoggle. He's always looking for veterans who use music in their therapy to speak to. So I'd really like to introduce you to Bill. He's out of Cleveland, big music guy up there. So thanks to Bill and Today's Boondoggle for sharing the stories of veterans as well. Where were we? What were we talking about? Help me out. What were we talking about?
Blue skies for the good guys and gals.
Blue skies for the good guys and gals.
I don't know. We've talked about a couple different things, so I didn't know what
we have.
Go back to.
Yeah, let's go back to Warrior Weekend to remember. So, Blue Skies for the good guys and gals, another great nonprofit who just wants to share the stories, right? They just want to share the stories, and we have always said at Safe 22, we don't care whose name is on the shirt. If you're helping a veteran, we want to share your story. We want to go experience what you're doing. So, we got to hang out with Blue Skies for the good guys, Team Fast Tracks. We've hung out at the Lex June events with the IHRA. I really love the mission that you guys have. I love that you take the time to walk through the crowds. When you do get a chance to jump, you come down and, you talk with everybody. The IHRA is doing a good job of the Veteran Appreciation Days on Saturdays, right? Free access to veterans, just show your ID at the gate. So there are a lot of programs. When you were going through your stuff, did you feel like nobody understood? Like, I can't find any of these programs that people talk about. Like, you just weren't seeing it, or were you kind of
okay? I've done my fair share of events with different organizations, and unfortunately, those events always seemed like it was, part of my language, a dick measuring competition. And so it wasn't until I found Warrior Weekend to Remember that I didn't have that competition. What
do you mean? What do you mean by it being a show, right? A dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You always had the veterans there that wanted to be the loudest and shine the brightest and belittle what others did and others didn't do. And so it wasn't, they say that they were a family, but after those events, I never connected back with any of those guys or girls that I was there at.
You didn't feel the connection at those events.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
And so Warrior Weekend, I truly walked out of there, felt like I was part of the family. I had so many people on my phone or on Facebook, and they were reaching out to me a week or two after the event, checking in on me, and we established that that lifeline friendship, basically.
Yeah, we talk about that quite a bit that when you get 5 or 6 dudes together that shared some of the same sand, some of the same emotions, some of the same areas, all of a sudden you've now created your own network, right? And I think that's what we try to put out there, that hey, you don't have to come to us, right? But you need to get out and make that connection with somebody, right? Call that battle brother, call that guy that you deployed with, right? Send that text and just say, hey man, Knuckles, right? Like I'm thinking about you. I love you. It's okay, because I'm going to tell you, more people care than you think care.
Right.
Absolutely. So many of us get into this fucking mindset. Oops. Get into this mindset that nobody cares, right? Because we've done everything ourselves. We have been a survivor for so long. We counted on ourselves. We counted on our teams over there, our crew. And then we feel alone when we don't have them next to us. And it's just that environment. I think it's the fact that you've got those guys around you and you're okay, right? Like, you're going to beat yourself up repeatedly until you actually get in there, right? Until you take that step into the event, into the hall, into the racetrack, whatever it is that you're going to go do, right? And I mean, you talked about it, you know, your family is your rock, and understanding that you're there for them. You're not there as a paramedic and EMT. I'm not there as a first responder. I'm not there as a military. I'm there as husband and dad. Right. And I've talked quite a bit about that in my journey, where I had to understand that my wife didn't marry First Sergeant John Moser. Right. I don't need to be a first sergeant here at the house. I can't talk to her the way I talk to my soldiers, my airmen. I can't do that. I can't talk the way I talk on the airplane. I can't do that with her. Number one, she's a female and doesn't listen that way, right? Those kind of things aren't in her vocabulary, right? So when we're trying to explain ourselves or give direction or things, right, we fumble for the words. So being around the veteran and first responder community will help you in your everyday day-to-day activities. I promise you it will. You got to get out. You got to go talk to these guys, and you'll find out that you share more than you think you share. Right. They're not as stoic and tough as you think they are. Right. I cry every day. There are tears coming out of my face every day, and I've come to terms with it. Right. I'm an emotional individual. I would rather feel emotions than not feel anything. And the pharmaceuticals and the drugs and the mental health so-called professionals that I dealt with in the past were all about giving me drugs to not feel. And that was my fault, number one, for not being able to convey effectively what I was feeling and what I wanted, right? And to not understand what I was going through at the time, and understanding that emotions are part of the human condition. We're all going to have them, right? You can be the greatest warrior ever, and you can have a moment of weakness, and it's okay. It's okay, right? It's a lot of weight. It's a lot of weight to carry, right? So I think number one, being around individuals that share your same vocabulary is paramount, right? And then two, understanding that changing your vocabulary does not change you as a human being, right?
No, it just makes you smarter.
It just makes you smarter, right? So don't you want to be able to communicate with people? Don't you want to be able to effectively communicate needs, wants, desires, right? Instead of just being, I mean, my experience was, F you, if you're not helping me, I'm out of here. Right. And, you know, I'm still kind of that way. I still struggle with effective communication, but I think we all do. Right. I think we all have.
I find it easier, better, and more rewarding for me to get the street smart services than actually going to someone that's book smart and going to say, well, yeah, you have post-traumatic stress disorder, figure it out. When I'm talking to you and or other veterans on the street, I'm getting more out of it because I'm learning what you did. I'm learning what this person did, and trying different things.
Right. Here's the thing. Nobody knows what you did unless you tell them. right? So how do you want to tell that story? Jason says it a lot. Your strength is your story, right? I say you're the hero of your own story. How do you want to write it, right? How do you want to write that story, right? Do you want to be remembered as a dick, or do you want to be remembered, for who you really are?
Both.
Right? Yeah.
Option C.
Yeah. Option C, both. Undertaker says emotions remind us that we're alive.
Yep.
Absolutely. Right. I mean, I distinctly remember days where 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm 280 pounds choking down, another half gallon of ice cream with no desire to move off that couch.
Yeah.
They're just periods of time, right? They don't have to be the rest of your life. I remember in AA, when I would be attending, they're like, you know what? Not drinking for the rest of your life is an impossible task. So how about we just don't drink today? And when today gets too hard, let's not drink for the next hour.
Yep.
And when that hour gets too hard, let's not drink for the next 15 minutes. And when that 15 minutes gets too hard, let's not do it for the next minute.
Yeah.
Right. Let's let that everything in this life is temporary, fleeting, comes and goes, everything. That's including your emotions. Right. So we need to understand emotional regulation, and that even emotions are temporary.
Yep.
Right. What I felt yesterday, I don't feel today. Right. And I don't know what I'm going to feel in 90 minutes. I don't know what I'm going to feel at 5 o'clock. You can predict and do everything you want in your head. I guarantee you it's not going to work out exactly as you think it is.
Right.
I guarantee it. Right. So many of us are stuck in our own head. I'm there. I do it. I stew on shit for hours, if not days sometimes still. And I just think that's a human occurrence. I don't think it's a veteran or first responder thing. I think it's the way we are as human beings.
Yeah, and that's why I said earlier, you can't look at the big picture. You have to look at the small, individual things to accomplish. And, and basically you just said it, if you're struggling looking at the big picture, all right, break it down to 8 hours. If that's too much, break it down even further.
Break it down. But the first step is you got to take that first step.
Correct. Absolutely.
The first step. And you've already recognized that I don't like being around people, or I don't want to go somewhere, or, this is going to happen. If you're recognizing that you're the one sabotaging the event before you even get there, and I say event, this can be going out to dinner, this can be going to the store, making a stop at Wham-A-Lart, whatever, right? And you've already built yourself up to this expectation of the people are going to be shitty. I'm going to have to watch this. I don't want to talk to anybody. So you're going to put on this front of anger and dick moves, right? That's what I did. Don't talk to me, man. Yep. And now look at us, right? Now look at us. We go to these events, we find other people, we hug, we cry, we share stories, right? It's incredibly therapeutic, whether you want to call it therapy or not. I don't care, but you got to get out of your house. You got to go meet other people. You have to have some sort of interaction with society in some way. You're doing incredible with all your stuff, your involvement with Team Fast Tracks. You're still a local EMT, right? EMT, yep. Paramedic. You still go out and do the job, right? But you still go out and get your therapy by meeting other people, coming in and hanging out. I've heard you say a couple times, I need to go sit down, right? Hey, I need a minute in the truck. Yeah, I get it, right? It's okay. It's okay to say those things, right? It's much better than blowing up at the movement of a coffee pot. Or flinging shit around your garage because something didn't work out the right way. Hold on. I'm feeling some sort of way. I need a minute. That's a tool for your toolbox, right? Yep. Kate says, being married to a Marine and now having small children, it is amazing how much I've changed emotionally, especially growing up in a house that just exploded and couldn't regulate. Great point, right? You come from a house where it was you're seen, not heard. And if you are heard, you better be right, because I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. And it better align with the things that we have in our own house. And if they don't, you're wrong. And They didn't know how to regulate. So they didn't know how to teach us how to regulate. So here you are as an adult struggling with this emotional regulation, and you don't know what to do with this anger, this frustration, this sadness, this excitement. You don't know what to do with any of it.
Right.
And am I right? Am I wrong? Well, I'm going to tell you, ain't nobody right or wrong when it comes to your emotional regulation. You got to figure out what works for you. We can sit here and tell you what works for us, but you're going to have to try it and modify it to your own self. Right.
You know, the one piece of advice that my father-in-law gave me, and it'll probably always stick with me, is if I ever catch myself in that moment where I just feel like I need to break things, you know, go out to the garage and start breaking broom handles. You know, just go up to the local Ace Hardware or Home Depot or wherever and get you some broom handles and, you know, break them. You know, take your frustration out.
Do you do it?
I haven't done it. No. But, you know, it's something that's always in the back of my mind, you know, to just go out and break.
I wonder if I'm going to feel better breaking this broom handle over my knee.
Right. You know, and then I'll probably have to go to the VA for knee injury.
Yeah, broken femur. What's that for?
You know, but no, you got to find your ways, you know, to vent safely and effectively. You know,
right.
Punching holes in your drywall isn't the best option to do, because I mean, you're lucky you're going to hit a stud and it's going to break your hand. And
I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Looks like you need to start sanding.
Yeah, it's time to start sanding. I need to get rid of that.
You know, but yeah, you want to find that way to you know, to vent peacefully and safely.
Yeah. So you know what? How does that start? Right? How does that start? Well, you gotta get up in the morning, number one, and you gotta talk better to yourself.
You got to make your bed first.
You got to make your bed. I got one guy that I've been talking to, and I've been telling him to brush his teeth with his other hand. Right? Change the way that you're wired in the morning. Right? If you're waking up and you're mad and you're upset, what worked for me was, all right, I'm going to walk from my bed to my bathroom and I'm going to brush my teeth with the left hand. It forced me to do something out of my routine, different from my routine, which was waking up in a bad mood, being pissed off at the dog or whatever. Didn't sleep well, only slept 3 hours, right? Got kicked. I was sweating all night long, bad dreams, whatever. If I force myself to start the day differently than I normally do, all of a sudden the brain's firing in a different order, right? It's using different pathways, it's using different things. And it really does change, right? It's a force of habit that you're locked into, and you got to change it.
When you started talking about that immediately made me think of that meme about the VA where it says, you know, I wake up in the morning with back pain and it says, wake up in the afternoon.
Wake up in the afternoon, right? Yeah, it'll be better.
Yeah,
right.
It'll be better.
I think the self-awareness factor is what's really key to, we'll call it recovery or therapy or getting better or growth or emotional betterment, whatever you want to call it. But I think you have to make a change, right? We're older, we're injured, we've got struts that are worn out, right? And unfortunately, we can't replace them right away, right?
You slept wrong and now your neck hurts for 4 days.
Yeah, I sneezed picking up dog poop and threw my back out, and I'm not walking for 3 days.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's different, right? We're different people nowadays, and you got to adjust yourself. We are not the same high-speed, low-drag individuals that we were at 20 or 30 years old, right? We're not kicking down doors. We're not flying airplanes. We're not working in the weather for 10, 12 hours. We're not working in the heat. We're not working in the cold. We're different individuals. And if you are still doing those things at 50, 55, kudos to you, bro. I couldn't do it anymore. Right? It was too much. Right?
I'm not even 40 yet, and I don't even want to do it anymore.
Well, just wait, son. Just wait. I think that's what Warrior Weekend to Remember does, right? It's a 3-day reset. It's a 3-day reset away from everything, right? Whatever you've got going on at home, they don't want you to focus on that. We want you to focus on you and having a good time. And if you are having a struggle, let's talk about it. right? There's plenty of people there. I think this year the website says you're bringing between 35 and 50 individuals.
Mhm.
You and I spoke before the show that you're bringing 12 new people. I'm honored to be one of them.
So I think it's 20. I think it's 20 Warriors and 10 to 12, maybe 15 Gold Star families.
Oh wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. We got to you got to jump a flag for a Gold Star family.
Last year.
Where were we? Was that at 42?
Yes,
I think we
that
did
was
that.
at 42. Yep.
Yeah, and we got to meet them, and they hung out with us down at the at Lex's Pit. Again, gave them a really incredible experience.
Yeah, and they also got
honored to meet them
a
guys.
helicopter ride through the IHRA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Ruth's son.
Yeah,
Brian. I think maybe.
Sure. You don't put me on. Don't put me on the spot
yeah.
right away.
But yeah, I mean, we were honored to host the Gold Star family there that weekend, and they had a phenomenal time. And yeah, we jumped with the Honor and Remember flag, 1,100 square foot Honor and Remember flag that they got to sign after the event. So I mean, that's Team Fast Track's main purpose in our mission, is to honor our nation's heroes, and especially those families that made the ultimate sacrifice.
Right.
So we will do anything and everything in our power to honor our Gold Star families.
Yeah, and you guys get involved with other organizations as well. Honor and Remember is a great one. George is just, his story is pretty incredible.
Yep.
I got to interview him and talk with him a couple of years back, and why he started Honor and Remember. What a mission that they have. What a story George has. So if you get a minute, go check out George Lutz's story on Straight Talk. That's out there somewhere.
Yeah, so kind of give you a little insight of what you're going to be expecting at Warrior Weekend.
Yeah, let's do it.
You'll arrive Thursday, whatever time you want to, wake your old ass up and make the drive down to Camp Chautauqua that day. It's day one isn't that exciting. Unfortunately, you got in processing, you got to go, go through the line and get registered and everything. But after that, that's the time you're going to be mingling and meeting previous Warriors, previous Gold Star family members, and the new attendees. And so then that's Thursday, and then on Friday we're at the drop zone all day. So we'll eat lunch out at the drop zone. You'll get to skydive. You'll get to ride in some cool aircrafts. And then Saturday, we're out at the shooting range. We get to do the Jeep parade, where I think last year we had 150 to 200 different Jeeps. Yep, that's one of the pictures. So that red Jeep, that's one of the Gold Star family that I became really good friends with over the years. And that's his second Jeep. And so he lets me drive that Jeep in the parade. And so last year I was honored to take a first-time warrior and his 3 kids with us in the Jeep parade. And so, we're going down the street and he's standing up in the back and hooting and hollering and waving and everything. And, so yeah, gun range, then this, and then we have an event by Team Fast Tracks. And, so that's me showing my little son how to shoot a little 22 at the time. It's just a fun event. We do a pig roast out there at the gun range now. The Miamisburg Sportsman Club is very great to us.
Here's the families, I think. Yep. Here's the family kids.
So, yep, that's all the kids. My 2 kids are the only ones in red. And then the other families, they're either part of the Gold Star family or members of Team Fast Tracks that come in. So that's little kids camp. And so my wife and my daughter basically run the kids camp.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And so, they try to keep them entertained and try to keep them out of trouble.
Wow. I give a lot of credit to people that deal with kids, because that's a lot. Here you are at the drop zone.
Yep. So this was in honor of one of our teammates. He ended up passing away from a medical condition, Adam Ralston. And so we had his family out for the event. And so every time Team Fast Tracks jump, we always dedicate a fallen hero. And so since we said we were going to dedicate this specific jump to Adam Ralston and his family. And so, that's all of us out there, posing with Adam's picture and integrated as his family.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. Are all your jumpers veterans? I know I
Not
got
all
to
of
meet
them.
a couple of them that are.
Majority of our team are veterans, but I mean, we do have a handful of them that are not veterans, but they still have the heart of gold, and they love and appreciate, what you and I and all the others have done and everything. So, yeah,
Awesome. I'm excited, man. I am obviously still a little nervous, and I'll probably talk my way out of it a few
No, you
times
won't.
in my brain.
But here's the funny thing is that so I'm going to be driving to Ohio sometime way before this event, and so if I have to make some phone calls and figure out where you live, I will stop by your house and I will drag you out of your house, and you can just spend the week plus with me, and you'll be all right.
Well, all you got to do is ask for the address. You're always welcome. Always welcome. Always welcome. Well, I thank you for joining us today. You mentioned that you'd love to do this a little bit more often. I'd love to have you as a co-host. Bring some of your friends on. Some of the great stories that you've been a part of or that you've heard. Definitely willing to share those. And hey, let me know. Let me see this real quick. Let's try this. We can do that right now. And if you have an idea for a guest on Tuesday Talk, go ahead and email me right there at tuesdaytalk@safe22.vet, and I'll be sure to check it out. Right. I did just develop a questionnaire for Tuesday Talk, so hopefully that'll help with some things and get moving along. But we want to say thanks to everybody for joining today. Thanks to Matt for co-hosting and being here all day. Really appreciate it. Thanks to groundforce.coffee, keeping me going. Oh, that's over here in my Herc mug. Hell yeah.
C-130.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, all right, Matt. Well, I'm going to call it a day. You got anything else you'd like to share?
Hey, just remember, tomorrow needs you. Keep the fight up.
Yeah, absolutely. Tomorrow does need you. You never know who you're going to impact, right? So try to wear today with a smile. Go through today with a smile, and give a compliment to somebody that can't give it back to you, right? Just start off a conversation with, hey, glad you're here today. Thank you. See what happens, right? Check out the look on their face, and you'll see that you've made an impact. And it's not going to happen to everybody, right? You are not going to be everybody's cup of tea today. That's just not the way life goes.
Nope.
Right? So be true to yourself. Try to have a good day. And we'll talk at you next week. I don't know who we got on the schedule, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Play it by ear. Typically how we do things here. So thank you, Matt. Thank you, Team Fast Tracks. And
thanks for having us.
I'll be sure to have an update sometime in September, pictures and everything. So thanks, man. Talk at you, brother.
Yeah.
Echo, hearts laid bare, battle scars we all still wear. Through the storm, through the fight, searching for hope in the dead of night. No more hiding, no more shame. Face the fire, call the name. Lessons learned, stories told. Rise again from the ashes cold. Tuesday Talk, light in the dark, where the broken find their spark. Tales of pain, but we still stand side by side. whisper demons call.